Hello everyone, I am Kumar biology faculty at Rajeev classes, which is Kolkata's first Kota based institute. Now today we are here for discussing the life science question paper, 2020 of West Bengal Board, Madhyamik. Okay. Now let's start with Group A. In Group A, you're asked to answer all the questions, and now let's have a look at question 1.1, where they are saying select the correct pair. Option A, cerebrum is important for maintenance of balance of the body. This is a wrong statement. Hypothalamus, it controls intelligence and emotion. Again a wrong statement. Cerebellum, it controls the body temperature. That's again a wrong statement. So which one is the correct answer for 1.1? It is option D, which is medulla oblongata, which controls the heartbeat and swallowing of food. So the correct answer for 1.1 is option D. Let's move on to option 1.2. Identify which of the following statements is not true regarding insulin. Option A, B and D are wrong. The correct option is option C, that is, it helps in the conversion of fat and protein into glucose. So this option is not true. This is the correct option. Let's move on to option 1.3. See, you have two columns over here, column A and column B. Now let's match column A with column B. A, flexion is matches with biceps. B, extension matches with quadriceps, and C, rotation matches with piriformis. So the correct option is C, that is A3, B1 and C2. Let's move on to question 1.4. Okay, the question is determine from the answers given below in which phases of karyokinesis during mitotic cell division following two incidents happen. Number A, daughter chromosomes tend to move apart from each other towards their own pole. We all know that this happens during the anaphase. So A will be anaphase. Now let's have a look at B. Nuclear membrane and nucleolus disappears. So we all know that nucleolus disappears and the nuclear membrane disappears in the prophase. So the correct option is option B, that is A anaphase and B prophase. Let's move on to question number 1.5. Select which of the following is the feature of cross-pollination. The last option, that is option D, is the correct option, that is more wastage of pollen grains. Okay. Now let's have a look at question 1.6. Question 1.6 is a very tricky question. Let's read the question. Determine the number of DNA molecules that get coiled to form each chromosome in a newly formed daughter cell produced by mitotic cell division in human body. Now most of the students will answer will give the option A, that is 46 chromosomes, but there is a trick over here. They have asked you, please read the first line, determine the number of DNA molecules that get coiled to form each chromosome. This is very important. So the correct option is not option A, rather it's option B, which is 1, because each of the DNA molecule we can assume leads to the formation of each chromosome. I personally feel that this question does not stand well because you cannot count DNA. DNA can be quantified, it cannot be counted. However, we can assume that from each of the DNA we are getting each of the chromosomes. Correct answer will be 1 because the option because in the question it's written each. That is a very important statement over here. So B would be a preferred answer. Let's have a look at question 1.7. Identify the genotype of guinea pig having black color and rough hair. Now black color is also a dominant trait. Rough hair, that's also a dominant trait. So you need to select something which has capital B as well as capital R. And over here, the best option is option A, which is capital B, capital R, small r, and capital B, capital R, small r. So the correct option would be option A. Sorry. Let's have a look at question 1.8. Decide which of the following two were selected by Mendel as recessive traits. The correct answer is option B. 1.8 ka correct answer is option B, that is length of the stem is dwarf, form of ripe seed is wrinkled. Now let's move on to question 1.9. Assess from the following the probable genotype of parents having hemophilic son and normal daughter. Now we all know that over here hemophilia is an X-linked recessive trait, and the mother can pass this to the son, and the correct option over here would be option D. Let's have a look at question 1.10. Parthenium is an exotic species in our country. Other indigenous species cannot survive in such places where it grows. This establishes one of the postulates of Darwin's theory. We all know that the correct option is interspecific struggle. That is option B. Students should not confuse between intraspecific and interspecific, because the correct option out over here is interspecific struggle. That is option B. Let's move on to question 1.11. Miller and Urey in their experiment were able to synthesize some preliminary constituents necessary for the creation of life. Identify the ones which were amino acids from them. We know that glycine and alanine are the amino acids, and the correct option definitely becomes option C, because option A, there is no amino acid over there, option B, again no amino acid over there, and option D, again no amino acid. So the correct option is option C, glycine and alanine. Let's move on to question 1.12. Decide for which of the following purpose bees demonstrate waggle dance. We all know that the correct option will be option B, that is the bees demonstrate waggle dance to inform other worker bees about the direction and the distance of the source of food from the beehive. So the correct option is option B. Let's move on to question 1.13. Identify which of the following is the correct information related to biosphere reserve. See, the correct option over here is option A, that is conservation is promoted to local people and other biotic communities along with conservation of ecosystem. Now there is a confusion of students. They may think which is the correct option. They may be confused between option A and option C. What I need to say is that bioreserves, they have a core zone where no anthropogenic activity is allowed. Okay. However, there is another transition buffer zone where the local people are allowed, where the tourists are allowed, which involves the collection of timber, wood, etc. So the correct option would be option A. Let's move on to question number 1.14. Decide which of the following pair is not correct. See, poaching is the increases the endangeredness of gorilla. This is true. Exotic species lantana and tilapia are exotic species. This is also true. Determination of hotspot, yes. Number of endemic species and endangered species. This is also true. So the incorrect option out over here is greenhouse gas and eutrophication. So this is the wrong option and the correct answer for question number 1.14. Now let's move on to question number 1.15. Decide which of the following Project Tiger is located within our state. We all know in West Bengal it is the Sundarbans. So the correct option is option C. Let's move on to group B. Here you need to answer any 21 questions out of the 26 questions that have been given below. Let's start with question 2.1. Okay. Now, see over here, Acharya Jagadish Chandra Bose, he had proved that by sending electric impulses in mimosa and desmodium plants, what he had actually proved was that the feature that he was dealing with was, do the plants have a nervous system or not? Okay. Now, question 2.2. If gametes in human were produced by mitosis instead of meiosis, then the number of autosomes in a somatic cell of an offspring would have been dash. Now, see, generally if gametes are produced by mitosis, I repeat, if gametes are produced by mitosis, then what would happen? In a cell, you have 23 pair of chromosomes, that is, you have 46 chromosomes. Then, mitosis is an equational division. If gametes are formed by mitosis, then each of the gamete would also have 46 chromosomes. So, from the mother gamete, from the male, you'll have a gamete which has 46 chromosomes. From the father also, you'll have you'll have a gamete which has 46 chromosomes. So mother and father gametes, each of them will have 46 chromosomes. Naturally, the child, the offspring, would have the entire chromosome number of 46 plus 46, which is 92. Okay. Now, question number 2.3. A disease in human population caused by recessive gene located in X chromosome is hemophilia. Number 2.4. The hoof of modern horse is the transformation of the digit number 3 in 3 of their ancestors. Question number 2.5. At the nitrification phase of nitrogen cycle, ammonia is converted into nitrite and nitrate by the action of some bacteria. Question 2.6. To produce the bottled cold drinks widely sold in the market, a lot of potable or drinking water is wasted. Let's move on to question number 2.7. Now see, question number 2.7 to question number 2.12, you just need to write true or false. So tropic movement is the movement of growth in plants. True. Crossing over takes place during mitotic cell division. Absolutely false, because it takes place during meiosis. Mendel used the term gene while describing his experiments related with heredity. No, this is false. He had used the term factors and not gene. The leaf of cactus is modified into spine for the reduction of the rate of transpiration. This is true. Rhododendron is an endangered plant species. Yes, it's endangered. Conserved in eastern Himalaya hotspot. This is true. Choroid helps in the accommodation of eye by changing the curvature and shape of the lens. This is false. Let's move on to questions number 2.13 to 2.18. These are match the following questions. Gibberellin, question 2.13, the correct answer would be, yes, it causes the breakdown of dormancy of bud and disease. That is 2.13 would be D. Cutting. 2.14, that is cutting, would be rose. You can expand or you can expand the rose plants with the help of cutting. Question number 2.15, genotype of pea plant having wrinkled and yellow colored seed. The correct option is F. That is capital R, capital Y, small y. Next is question 2.16, homologous organs. Homologous organs are organs which have similar structure but different function. So the correct option would be option E. Wetland, that is 2.17. 2.17, wetlands are used for recharging of groundwater. That is, the correct option is option B. Thymidine and uracil, that is 2.18. 2.18, the correct option is, they are pyrimidine bases. We all know that thymidine and uracil are pyrimidine bases. So 2.13 is, I'm repeating myself, 2.13 is D, 2.14 is G, rose, 2.15 is capital R, capital Y, small y, that is F. 2.16 is E, that is the structure is same but function is different. 2.17 is B, that is recharging of groundwater, and 2.18 is pyramidal basis, that is C. Go. Now let's move on to question number 2.19 to 2.26. Here you need to answer the questions in a single word or a single sentence. So let's select question 2.19. Choose the odd one out and write it. Just on the account of hind and forebrain, I would say cerebrum, hypothalamus and thalamus, these can be grouped together. Pons is the odd one out. Question number 2.20. Where are the Schwann cells located? Of course, on the neurons. 2.21. A pair of related terms is given below. On the basis of the relationship in the first pair, write the suitable word in the gap of the second pair. So if mitosis is to radical, then meiosis is to, the answer would be pollen mother cell. Pollen mother cell. Okay. Question number 2.22. Which law Mendel concluded from his dihybrid cross experiment? This is the law of independent assortment. Question number 2.24. How chimpanzees break open the hard shells for eating nuts. Of course, initially they were trying to do that with their teeth, and then experiments were done and it was found if they were throwing it, then they could easily break it through stones. So the proper answer would be with the help of stones. Question number 2.25. Among the following four terms, one includes the other three. Find it out and write it. SPM, greenhouse, lung diseases are all included in this air pollution. So the odd one out, or rather the one which includes the rest of it, would be air pollution. Next is 2.26. Name the practice which jointly the local people and the forest department maintain for reclamation of forest. The answer would be JFM, or Joint Forest Management. Thank you. And now in another video we will be discussing the subjective detailed questions, that is of group C and D. Stay tuned.